what's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. This is our live AMA. My name is AJ. I don't even know my own intro now. I'm excited for what we got to go over today. So, my name is AJ. I am the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And shout out to Cool Sheet on the new intro. Crypto Winter is the name of that song, and I think we are finally coming out of a crypto winter. So, market's looking good. We'll talk about that in a minute. But as always, I want to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Hey guys, how are ya? I'm a little under the weather today, but we are forging on and we have a lot of exciting stuff to cover tonight.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. Again, fresh from consensus. We'll talk about that in a minute. But gotta love the traveling flu or sickness or crud, whatever it might be, right,
Yeah,
LA? Yeah.
we laughed earlier because neither one of us seems to be able to go away anywhere without coming home sick. But
Yeah.
uh, we're still full force, so it's all good.
100%. It's like a tag team. I'm sick, and then you take over. You're sick, so I'll take over. But really glad to have you back. The episode on Friday was really tough. It's funny how hard it is to do it on your own when you're so used to having a co-host with the most. So, all right, we're gonna talk about the market really quick, and then we'll let LA give us a bit of an update on consensus, where she was for the last few days. But market looking really good again. We even hit 70K Bitcoin again today. It's down now a little bit, but looking really healthy overall. I think the whole meme narrative is the DeFi summer, what's happening right now. But even with Ethereum, how it pertains to EMP, is really healthy because the chart is still moving along. Peg is looking better than ever. And again, remember, you get full exposure to Ethereum. So as ETH goes up, so does the price of EMP. So, all right, LA, maybe give us a bit of a rundown on consensus. I know we made a lot of contacts, got to catch up with a few old friends in person as well. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, consensus went amazing. It flew by. It was jam packed, but this year was really great in that well, for one thing, got to see some of our emperors again. So shout out David. But also this year we got to meet some of the marketing contacts that we have been forming over the last couple of years. So got to meet Crypto Coffee and Drew Wolfer. And we also had a chance to, I don't know why I'm saying we when it's just me, but I also had a chance to really make some great connections that are going to help further us some really like interesting, exciting stuff that I went over with AJ kind of on a daily basis, but to kind of take us into the next level because as much as we try to do everything on our own, we can't necessarily do everything at the same time on our own if we want to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, obviously, merging with the DexFi team was such a powerful step for all of that. But on my front, I was kind of on the lookout for some marketing and PR stuff and just kind of seeing what the trends are and seeing what people are doing and talking about. And I had some really, really good conversations surrounding that. Also, some really just cool security stuff that could take our protocol to a cool new level. Um, and I didn't get time to go to a ton of the talks, but the couple that I did go to were really interesting. One of them, I sat down for a whole seminar on meme coins and just kind of tuned in because uh, now that you just mentioned that, AJ, but uh, I wanted to learn more about them because it's obviously the craze right now, and it's not something I knew a ton about, but it's actually really interesting to see like an entire panel spend an hour like diving into it and the psychology behind what is making them blow up and all this different stuff. And one lady was even talking about like a college course that she had taken that kind of goes into explaining why they're having the success that they are. So it's really interesting. A couple things like that I got into. I had a chance to catch up with a whole Canadian crew that I met down there last year, who was back again this year, that I had stayed in contact with. So that was pretty cool. But all in all, really, really great. And every year we are making more and more connections that are taking us in the right direction. And um, next year, it's actually being held in my hometown, Toronto. So that's pretty cool. Found out that while I'm there this year. Did you know that, AJ?
I did not. There you go. There's some alpha for today. Yeah, so again, we have a package deal. We bought tickets for like the next 3 years. So that's exciting. You'll be able to head back to your old stomping grounds. And
Yeah.
that's when Fusion will be in full swings. Oh, and who knows what else we have built by then. But awesome stuff, Ella. Yeah, I know it was a lot of pounding the pavement, and yeah, from the things that we talked about, there is a lot of promising directions on a few fronts. Again, we
Yeah.
won't go into too much of that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, AJ and I are going to be setting up some meetings to chat with some of the people that I met with while I was there this past week. So um, that's going to be happening this next week. We'll be doing that now that I'm back.
Awesome. Yeah, no doubt. All right. Awesome job, LA. Again, thank you for representing us at Consensus. And, again, hopefully I will be able to start making the rounds as well. I did submit to be a speaker at Consensus. So we'll try to get ahead of that early for next year and get ahead, especially when LA was telling me about some of the panels. I thought it was pretty funny. I guess, what, LA, I can always wear a bandana over my face to be anonymous, right? That was
Yeah,
hilarious what you sent me.
I sent AJ a photo um of this one man that was on stage, and obviously he didn't want to dox. So he was wearing sunglasses and a bandana covering his face, and I said, I guess if I wanted to have a future speaking as a crypto speaker, but I didn't want to dox, I could always take this man's approach.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that
there was also there was also this other man. I don't know who he was, but there was all these people crowded around him and these two other ladies, and they seemed to be recording something on like this big video camera. But he was wearing this like golden sparkly mask, and he seemed to be someone that people all knew because they were all crowded around watching whatever they were saying, but I had never seen him before.
Interesting. Yeah, I know there was a lot. I know even BitBoy was there, but got escorted out. Again, he's been very vocal about the people that help run Consensus, so they weren't too happy to see him. But again, these sort of events are amazing for the future of crypto, though, right, LA? I mean, I think,
Yes.
obviously, we're all there as industry participants, but I would assume that there was a lot of crypto noobs that go to these conferences just to learn as well, right?
Yeah, one thing I will say is that I think next year they do need to bring in some new spice with their speakers, because the one thing I will say that went a little bit downhill from last year was there wasn't anywhere near as much attendance watching people speak. And so
For sure.
we need to get people like you in speaking to spice it up a little bit, make it more entertaining, and still obviously incredibly knowledgeable, but also bring that, entertainment and make people want to stay and watch through a full thing. Because there's probably only about a third as many people in the audience as last year. So that would be, if I had to like critique it in any way, say the only con that I found from last year to this year. They
Perfect.
just happened. I think they had bigger names last year, maybe, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and again, I think that's just kind of based on the market too. I think, I think a lot more people have, a ton of conferences that they're going to this year, and I know it can be quite expensive too. So I think people, especially coming out of a bear market, maybe don't have a lot to go to multiple conferences, so they only pick whatever's best for them. But speaking of that too, I think. Again, no guarantees that we'll be there, but the next one that I know we were talking about was the Bitcoin conference, right, LA? Did anybody up there say they were going to be at that one? I believe it's in Nashville this year.
Yeah, some people were talking about the Bitcoin conference, and then a lot of people I heard about had been to ETH Denver this year. That one's already passed, but that's another one that I would love to have my eye on to possibly attend next year.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt. So again, we're gonna have a more and more of a presence as we continue to build out not only Fusion but our other ecosystems, and have the community to support it. So yeah, that's all in the works. So all right, awesome. Well, that was a great update on consensus. I know today, the majority of today's AMA will be about EMP Fusion. We're gonna do a bit of a refresher for those that may not have remembered what to do to prepare. We'll set some expectations. And please, as we go along, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. At the very end, we'll take questions both from the live chat on YouTube and our Discord. So, but before we get into that, I want to do just a quick update on Sparkswap. LA, again, I know you're not feeling good. I'll make you talk the whole AMA, but I'm going to throw it back to you one more time
Yes,
about our social sharing competition.
yes, I have it here in front of me. I prepared it before I left for the trip, so
Amazing.
um, I did see some of them on here watching. So we have I before I left for my trip, I had a list of all of the people who had been participating the most, and then over the weekend, I finalized that list based on kind of the last few days of the competition. So I have our winners, and we're going to announce them right now, and then I'll also do a written post just so that you have it both audibly and visually. But there were 5 people who really went kind of all out for the competition and were posting a lot, and not only posting a lot, but also supporting all of our socials. And I noticed also attending a lot of our AMAs that we had on our AMA train and all of those kind of things. And we love to see it. And I did want to just say, um, just because the competition is over doesn't mean you have to stop sharing your trades. Maybe you don't, maybe you're not going to share every single trade, but we do obviously want to still encourage you guys to share your trades because that's what helps the platform grow. And a reminder that those fees feed Sparkler.
Yep,
But
100%. And real quick, not to interrupt you, LA, but before I forget, we are going to be rolling out a leaderboard. So I know a lot of you been asking about that. That is the next upgrade to PERPS. And then once we have a leaderboard that tracks both volume and your win percentage, then we'll do a whole nother campaign around that. So keep an eye out. Again, hopefully sometime in July around, again, Fusion is our number one priority right now in terms of development, but that is on the roadmap. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, LA.
yeah. So we have 2 categories of prizes. So if you remembered, AJ offered up a prize for the person who was able to get the biggest trade throughout the month. So the winner for that is Jury Rigger. He or she was able to get 658.5% win. So you are winning $100 and also some Spark 404, and
Let's
AJ will
go. Yeah,
handle
100%.
sending that
Yep.
to you.
Yeah, I think they were, I know they were more active on Twitter. So if you are listening, just reach out to me in DM from your Twitter account, or keep an eye out for my DM to you.
Amazing. And then for our regular other category, I chose four winners. Our overall like grand prize winner is Crypto Pride. So woo, give it up for
Yes,
him.
that's a good pride, man. He
Crypto
killed
Pride
it.
really, really killed it. Like he really went above and beyond, like shared everything like all month. So Crypto Pride is gonna win $200. And then the other three winners are gonna win $100 each, which is Vino Mystic, Crypto Cray, and Bullion Hound. So congrats. Woo, 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 woo,
Awesome.
woo, woo,
Congrats,
woo, woo,
everybody.
woo.
That's killer.
Yeah, so it's awesome that we had a big prize amount and that we were able to kind of divide it because between the other three winners, the effort was very um, equal. So I didn't want to choose, honestly. So I think that worked out really fairly because Crypto Pride definitely beat them out in his amount of sharing by a little bit. And yeah, that worked out perfectly. So
Amazing. Yeah, congrats to everybody. And again, we know who you are. No need for scammers to waste their time trying to imitate. We'll be in touch with all of you. And if you are a winner, please don't respond to any DMs either. So we'll coordinate over the next day or two to get everybody their money. So, all right,
yeah,
that's awesome. Good.
congratulations, guys. Big wins. Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
it was huge.
And it's always nice to have another $100 or $200 to throw into Fusion.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Building that fusion bag. So I think Crypto Pride said that's what he was going to do. So congrats to him for taking it home. And again, we'll have many more competitions on sharing, leaderboards, overall volume. The whole idea with PERPS is that not only is it, the best decentralized option for trading PERPS in futures, again, betting on the price of Bitcoin and ETH going up and down, and all blue chips eventually. We hope to have the top 10 at least, and then the top 50. But it's also supposed to be fun, so we'll have a lot of little competitions, monthly, weekly, yearly. I mean, you name it. So, all right, awesome.
And I did
Yeah,
want to
go ahead. Yeah,
say that I think it did make a big difference over the month. I can't tell exactly how much of a percentage of increase in total volume we had over the month, but it looks like on May 1st we nearly doubled our volume over the last month. So
pretty
on May
amazing.
1st on May 1st we had 5.8 million in volume and we have 10.6 today. So pretty great.
Yeah, no doubt. And the volume has been picking up again, now that we've crossed over that 10 million mark in total volume. Again, remember that also includes your leverage position. So, but it looks really good. And the more volume, the more fees for the protocol, and the more support on the Spark token, and therefore Sparkler payouts. So, again, all of you, there is no referral program, but all of you should be again, responsibly shilling our perps platform because it helps all of us that are in the protocol. So, all right. Awesome job, Ella. Thank you. All right, so a few more updates and then we're going to EMP Fusion. The V3 updates. So, again, we've been teasing this now on a few of the AMAs. After Fusion is out, our next big development task will be upgrading all of our franchises to a V3 model. So again, that is official now. It has been, but we really haven't done a whole segment on it. We will bring on Dex CEO Jake in the next week or two. Again, we're trying to give all the shine to Fusion right now, but we'll bring him on to do a real deep dive on what V3 is. For those that know, we're moving away from our liquidity pools that encompass the entire range. And the V3 model is known as concentrated liquidity. And this is really powerful. It's the way of the future because you're actually able to specify the range that you're providing liquidity at. And by doing this, you get a much larger percentage of the trading fees that go along with that. So um, it will be a gradual process, and it will be a major process to go from V2 to V3. But we will be rolling all of that out in the next, again, few months, hopefully sooner. But I want to make sure we're extra conservative. But what this means, again, why it's important for all of you, even if you don't know about concentrated liquidity or any sort of V3 model, is number one, it allows us to get away from the inflation on Spark completely. So Spark will actually become deflationary, which is super bullish. And number two, it allows you all to earn potentially even more in terms of APR for providing liquidity than the farms are right now. And, obviously that's because we're sharing part of the trading fees with liquidity providers. We already do that, but it's a much smaller percentage. And because you're specifying the range in which you provide liquidity, you get much larger portion of those fees. And again, in the short term, it will remove a bit of a revenue stream from Fusion, but because of the
from Sparkler.
I'm sorry, thank you, Ella. From Sparkler, again, we still maintain all the revenue streams to Fusion, but it will remove some revenue from Sparkler. However, because we're getting rid of the inflation, it will massively outweigh the revenue we're taking away in token value. So again, it's really bullish. And we may even have some upgrades to Sparkler as well, along with that migration. So again, we'll go into more of this at a later date, but I want everybody to get excited because it's really important for those that have been accumulating Spark and building positions in Sparkler. This is mega, mega news for all of you. So, and anybody that's bullish on the Spark token. So, all right, you want to add to that at all, LA?
Yeah, just that don't be scared about the part he said about Sparkler, because just think about how much more valuable your Sparkler positions will be when the Spark token is more valuable because it becomes a deflationary protocol. And if your Sparkler position is worth more and the Spark portion of the Spark PLS LP that you're earning is worth more, it will all work itself out exactly as it's meant to.
Yeah, 100%. Great point. And yeah, remember, I think people forget, or at least have put it out of their mind. Sparkler is still a staking platform, meaning, even though we say a 10-year stake, again, shout out to all the 3650 gang, um, you're not actually burning that Spark. So it is a long-term stake. And so my point to that is, imagine getting your unlock of Spark 10 years from now, when Spark is potentially way, way higher in price. Again, it's really bullish for everybody involved. And once, again, people start understanding how we're moving away from that, I think the FOMO will really kick in for sure. So, all right, awesome. All right, a little bit more on the UI upgrades. Again, we're also working on some more UI upgrades. We're adding a little bit more clear uh, selections on the PERPS platform. We're allowing you to, add 25, 50, 75, and 100% in one click on the exchange and on the liquidity page. I know that's been a big ask. Now, it was there, and then when we upgraded, it went away. Everybody wants us to bring it back, so we are, and we have a lot of other quality of life upgrades coming as well. And Ella, you want to talk a little bit about our AMAs? Again, we're finishing the 404 AMA train, but then we're jumping right on from one train to another on the Fusion train, right?
Yes. So we're closing out the final AMAs uh, for the 404 AMA train this week, whatever ones we were unable to schedule before I left for consensus. And so we have a couple more happening this week. And in the meantime, this week, all week, I will be getting all of our fusion ones scheduled. So if you heard me in previous AMAs saying we have 25 AMAs and videos paid for and booked now, I just have to actually contact each of those 25 and schedule them. So I have to do that. And for whichever ones are videos as opposed to AMAs, I just have to make sure to send them over notes and plan out release dates and stuff like that with them. And then I'm also going to be towards the end of the week working on booking and getting the second list of AMAs booked for our second wave. We're going to work on getting all those booked so that when it's time for the second wave, we can just schedule them. So I have a whole list of who all those people are going to be, and I just have to get in contact with them. So as soon as I have our first wave scheduled this week, then we're going to work on getting the whole second wave booked as well.
Amazing. Yeah, no doubt, LA. Again, we've never been more prepared for a launch in our entire lives. I mean, the amount of coverage coming out is going to be amazing. Just remember that it is a multi-step process, and a lot of the coverage will be happening more towards actual fusion sacrifice date, if not even a bit after fusion sacrifice. And again, we do that on purpose because not only does that allow all of us that have been building our bags to sacrifice and get in early, but it also allows us to scale in a very healthy manner because, again, the more people that know about fusion, the more, the easier it is to recover peg, and the more people are able to earn by getting into fusion. We'll talk a lot about that in this next segment, but just remember, now those that are in the know now are fully exposed to that 10x, and we've already seen a lot more volume coming in, knowing that. So, all right, awesome stuff. We're again, hopefully I can stay, my voice can stay strong for all those AMAs. This was the dry run with the 404s. And speaking of the 404s, they've been up. We saw them again. Go up by about $5 an NFT over the last few days. So price is looking good. Again, remember, while we're below the quote unquote peg, again, it's a soft peg, B Spark, Burn Spark, you're better off buying that Burn Spark on our exchange and using that Burn Spark to go into the NFTs rather than, just burning Spark outright. So, and that, again, the more holders we have, the more people that accumulate, that B Spark will end up becoming in parity again. And once that happens, then you can use the widget on our 404 page to actually burn more sparks. So, all of that is still in the works. Not, nothing is not working. I know there was a slight issue on rewards, but it was just the payout time. Right, LA, did you get an update on that? I think all the rewards obviously were still accounted for, but
Yeah,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
I was gonna just comment on that. There was a couple of reports that rewards didn't get paid out for a 24 to 48-hour period that we received yesterday. So I just wanted to let you guys know that the rewards were accruing and that the devs are fully on it. And I believe it either has already been fixed or it's in the process of being fixed. I just got home 10 minutes before the AMA from my trip. So I haven't had a chance to follow up with them because I was on the plane, but I will do that tomorrow morning and confirm.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. All right, awesome. And then last but not least, in terms of Sparkswap, we're excited to announce that we have added the Drippy Inu token to our exchange, and the NFTs should be on our marketplace very soon as well. Again, the devs were busy over the weekend, but I know we were connecting with the team today on getting the NFT added. But this plays in really well with what we were saying earlier about memes. So, um, again, I put this out there in a few other groups, and we'll make an official announcement about it as well. But the whole meme craze is really taking off on Pulse. And why this is important for us at Sparkswap is because we are able to get volume on that trading. So right now, again, Drippy Inu, I guess, would be our first official meme. Although, again, I hate saying meme because a lot of these slogans do have more utility than just being a meme. But some others include Glass and Oregon. You can see those are some new tokens we've added LP for, and very low liquidity at the moment. But another one is No TG. That was another one. Or not guilty. Again, a Trump meme. But I do want to put it out there that the first meme token to get $100,000 of volume a day on SparkSwap will receive a farm for free. So typically we require people to buy and burn Spark or at least have enough volume that the rewards are at least on par or outweigh what we're giving away in terms of emissions. So spread the word out there. Obviously, we will make sure that the code is safe and that we're not, outright listing rug tokens. But again, if you think you have the next $1 million idea in terms of a meme and you decide to launch with us on SparkSwap, there will be again some incentive there. So spread the word. We'll have more info on this, and we'll do a full post on it too. But now you can add liquidity to any token on our exchange. So just again, please do your best in helping us build liquidity on SparkSwap. And even with the low liquidity on some of these memes, I mean, we're still doing a ton of volume a day. Obviously, volume overall has dropped off, on Pulse overall. But even at the lows of Pulse, we've still been doing $300,000 to $500,000 a day, and at our peak, we were doing 1 million to 2 million a day. So all of that really helps the protocol, moving forward. So, all right, and yeah, check out Drippy Inu. Again, it's got all the right memeability, a dog, a cool a persona, a great community, everything that you need. So, all right, LA, anything else around SparkSwap before we move on to Fusion?
No, I think that's it for Sparkswap for today.
All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to give a bit of an update on Fusion. Again, first of all, before we get into any of this, LA, do you want to just remind people about the white paper and the video series?
Yes, absolutely. So, I was saying this to AJ today. I feel like a lot of people, even though we've been kind of saying this for months, and I'm sure it's not even anyone listening to this AMA because the people who listen to the AMAs are very well informed. But I feel like a lot of people, even though we've been saying for months, to get prepared, and we've been kind of sharing details about Fusion for months, all of a sudden forget how a lot of things are going to work. But
For sure.
nothing has changed in the white paper, even though there's another version coming out a few days before the uh, launch starts. There will be a few things added, but there's nothing in there that's going to change. So make sure that you've read the white paper, because it goes through every part of the ecosystem and how the sacrifice works and how like different parts of the ecosystem work in regards to sacrifice. And then in the explainer series, which you can find on this EMP YouTube channel by going to our playlist section, it will give you a really broken down, simple to understand basis on what Fusion is. But in the sixth video, the final video, it will do the same thing. It will take you through the entire sacrifice and tell you how every part of the ecosystem works with the sacrifice. And so here's an example that we're going to go further into detail with today. But I saw a lot of chatter over the weekend about breaking LPs to get ready to go into Fusion. Well, on both the white paper and in the explainer series, it goes into detail about the fact that you don't need to break your LPs to go into Fusion. So I just wanted to kind of reemphasize. I know that it's annoying to read white papers, but we tried to make it as short as possible so that it's easy breezy to get through, and everything in there is important. So try to make sure to refresh your memory and give it a read now that we're less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, great stuff. Again, we're going a little out of order, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about that first because that really is important. Again, nothing that LA or I can say will be as good as you actually watching those 7 videos or 6 videos and reading the white paper. So please do that. That will get you well prepared. And then, yeah, I mean, again, very simply put, and remember, we are releasing the MVP or minimal viable product on the 14th. Again, I guess we could start there. We have officially announced the release date. Sacrifice starts Friday, June 14th. So, uh, um, uh, we announced that on last Friday. So you had at least 2 weeks. Now you have a little bit less than 2 weeks, but we're again giving you as much time as possible to get prepared. And the very, very simplified answer to this is buy EMP or the EMP that you've accumulated and sacrifice it. I mean, that is the #1 way to participate in EMP Fusion. And we'll talk about why that is so important in a minute here. But that's really as simple as it gets, at least for the MVP. Now, once we have Fusion up, remember, we'll be adding more and more batteries. We'll talk about cashing out through the batteries. We'll talk about power packs, how you can utilize your e-share. All of that will come, but the most important thing is to sacrifice as much as you can, as early as you can, if you want to earn from Fusion. So, again, not financial advice, just explaining how the system works. So, um, one thing too, Elliot, I've been seeing a lot of is our peg not only our peg, bonus, but also how peg actually works in Fusion. So we'll talk about that real quick. Again, anybody buying right now off the market, EMP, you're getting almost, well, now it's about a 9x rather than a 10x. So again, remember, based on peg, you're going to slowly get less of a bonus. And again, all this is calculated on someone buying currently. If you've already bought your EMP, then you're good to go. And obviously, depending on where you bought your EMP, is where the actual multiplier comes into place. Um, but to simplify it, anybody buying now and sacrificing will be getting a full 9x on their money. And the way we're able to do that is because again, we are so confident in recovering peg that we're giving you the dollar value of your EMP in Fusion at peg. So when you go to again calculate your NFT value again in terms of dollar value, it will be at peg, which at today's prices is about probably, again, I haven't done the exact math, but a little under $1 per EMP. So um, and the why that's important is because we are maintaining peg in the ecosystem. So rather than moving the numbers or moving the goalposts, so to speak, where we just say, all right, well, we're not going to have 4,000 to 1 ratio anymore. We're going to make it 2,000 to 1. And now, oh, well, everybody's value is cut in half if we do get to peg. So that's what a lot of other protocols have done. But we're not going to do that. So we are going to maintain the 4,000 to 1 ratio. And so if ETH is $4,000, that puts EMP at $1. And if ETH goes to $8,000, that means EMP is worth $2. And so PEG is so important because it allows you to maintain the exposure to Ethereum itself. And the way we're able to do that is through deep liquidity bonding. So right now, we've had a lot more people selling EMP than buying it, and that's why PEG went below. But now EMP is no longer inflationary. In fact, it's deflationary. And there's a cap supply. So once we recover peg, it's way easier to maintain a peg with massive ETH backing that liquidity. So that is all part of our process. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about what it means to have exit liquidity or actually earn from Fusion. But I want to make sure that everybody understands peg first before we get into that. So, Ella, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that or simplify it at all? Yeah.
Uh, I don't know what I can really add aside from what you said, but
Okay.
um, yeah, just you, I mean, if you believe in ETH as much as most of us do, you want as much exposure to it as possible, and EMP makes that a possibility. And maintaining that peg is important when it comes to that, basically, in a nutshell, simplified.
Perfect. Yeah. So again, all of that as we recover peg will be even more bullish too because throughout no matter even if you're earning what the current farms are paying now, which again we're hoping for a much higher APR. We don't know because we're not live yet, but the whole point is you're earning with that exposure to Ethereum. So uh, it's our original thesis at EMP was and still is that you're able to actually earn, with that exposure to ETH. So that the theory is that it's much better to, have EMP as fractionalized ETH than just holding ETH in your wallet and not earning on that either. Again, obviously you earn if the price goes up, but in Fusion, you still earn if the price goes up, and you're earning part of the revenue streams as well. So it's very, very bullish when you look at the whole picture. So, all right, Elliot, are we good on that? Do you think?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so, for sure.
all right. So moving on, and this plays into the discussion as well. I want to talk a little bit about liquidity. So, I think that there might be this expectation of, and that's I think where everybody thinks, well, that's too good to be true, is because you know again, a 10x from here, some holdings could be absolutely massive. Well, remember there still has to be exit liquidity. So we're purposely, and we've been upfront about this from day one, we are reducing the liquidity on EMP as we move into Fusion. And we're doing that on purpose, not only to help recover PEG, but it's because we also don't want the bad actors, and again, I say that in quotations, we don't want people that just want to swing trade EMP to be able to buy EMP low and then sell and dump on our heads. That's the whole point of moving into Fusion. So even though EMP will get to $1, there may not be enough liquidity for people to literally realize, $1 million of profit when they sell. It's much more lucrative to earn through Fusion itself. And that is something, again, I'm trying to drive home because the whole idea is that we are actually prioritizing the payouts of Fusion so that if you have $1 million position, you're actually able to earn and potentially exit through the NFTs themselves, not necessarily dumping EMP on the market. So that is the whole fundamental difference of Fusion is that, we have removed that from people, again, dumping on our heads. And as long as you go into Fusion, then you're able to sell your NFT for a profit. And remember, you can break up your NFT into smaller
Yeah.
amounts as well. So yeah, go ahead, Ella. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to share is that, um, it's not just you don't sacrifice into Fusion and then it's just you have to sell your entire microgrid in order to exit the ecosystem. We are also, I don't know if it's available right at the MVP, but we all are also going to have a battery called the split my position battery where you're able to sell off part of your microgrid. And then you can sell your whole microgrid in the marketplace as well, if
For sure.
that's what you want to do. So there's multiple options if you just happen to, need a quick cash infusion at some point, unexpectedly. You can sell part of your position. There's so many options. So yes, this is kind of a closed system, but it doesn't in any way keep you trapped.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a really valid point, LA. Again, it is a closed system, but there isn't a sunk cost. Now, obviously, there has to be a buyer on those NFTs, but we've said all along that it is our number one priority to actually buy back some of the microgrids as a protocol, because the more we're able to do that, the not only the more revenue we get to keep, and develop more, but more importantly, we can give that revenue to all the holders that are still in Fusion. And so that could dramatically increase the APR because we're giving the same amount of rewards to less people. So that is really important moving forward. And again, the number one takeaway from this AMA is, if you're wanting to stick around and reap the rewards of everything we're building, you want to be sacrificing as much as you can. Again, never invest more than you can afford, but you want to sacrifice as much as early as possible, because if everybody follows that mantra in the community, we will have a massive system recovery, and it helps all of us be more profitable within Fusion, as well. So that is kind of what I want to drive home. But all right, hopefully that explained exit liquidity. And even if there are, again, quote unquote, bad actors that do buy EMP now and sell on the way up, that is okay, because that is a one-time problem. And once that person has sold, they don't get to participate in Fusion at all. Or if they do, they have to buy in at a much higher price. So remember, as a community, obviously it won't be a straight line up and to the right. There will be that volatility as people sell, but over time, eventually all the EMP in existence should be pulled into Fusion, and once that happens, then all of us are, reaping massive rewards from Fusion itself. And when you want to sell, you just list your NFT, and you can take profit without ever hurting the ecosystem. And that is, again, the main reason why we're moving into this new model. So, Ella, you want to talk a little bit about sacrificing early, and then again, you mentioned it already, but why, that sacrificing LP is the same as well, and I'll elaborate. But
Yes. There's two reasons why you want to sacrifice as early as possible. One, we are offering early sacrifice bonuses. They're not massive. They are fully listed in the white paper if you're curious what those are. But it is an additional bonus on top of that peg bonus if you have been buying EMP at a low price. Secondly, in any yield farm or staking protocol, those who get in early before, oh, sorry, one second.
all right, yeah, I can take over, or I think.
D-
Oh, you already,
Sorry,
Ella? Yeah.
dog is barking, so can you take over for a
Yeah,
second?
no problem. All right, so yeah, like Yella was saying, you want to be sacrificing early, because you're getting every 24 hours after sacrifice starts, um, you'll get a bonus, and then that will gradually go down every day after sacrifice. So again, if you're on a vacation or maybe you have a work commitment, if you're a day or two late, then you still get the majority of that bonus. We just don't want to give bonuses to people that are, 2, 3 weeks after sacrifice. So, yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Ella. You back? Yep.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I just wanted to say, in any staking protocol or any yield farm or anything you get into, you will always notice at the very beginning when you first get in, before everyone else gets in, there's crazy APRs because the pizza is being divided. It's being those pieces of the pie are being split up between less people, and so the earlier you get in before more people, the more of those early rewards you're going to scoop up
For
before
sure.
everyone else. So not only are you getting the peg bonus, not only are you getting the early sacrifice bonus, but if you get in early as well, you're getting in before a lot of other people before the emissions get split between the full amount of people that Fusion, will serve when everyone's sacrificed.
Yep, perfect stuff. All right, and then again, just to clarify too, the second point about what is sacrificable. So again, we've said this is in the white paper as well. We will allow you to sacrifice, EMP, eShare, EMP LP, UpEMP. Again, the list goes on, and even BNB and ETH as well. For those that have no idea about our ecosystem, but the main point is EMP LP and UpEMP have been the most questioned. So, all right, let's go over that. EMP
Yeah.
LP is credited to you at peg bonus value as well. So again, the argument or the confusion is, well, should I unpair my LP, use that Ethereum to buy EMP, and then sacrifice all of that liquid EMP to Fusion? I mean, yes, you could do that. However, the better move, in my opinion, because you're not going to experience any price impact or gas fees or slippage, would just be sacrificing your LP directly. And so that will then go to the treasury, and then we are able to either unpair that LP and use the ETH, as we see fit, again, to recover pay, while simultaneously reducing LP, or we keep that LP in the treasury as part of POL, protocol owned liquidity, that we are no longer, worried that a whale will just leave, with $100,000 of liquidity, and again dump on our head. So I can't stress enough how important, if you do have LP, to just sacrifice the LP, and that again is more efficient for us as the protocol and for you building your bag. So, Ellie,
Yes.
you want to add to that, or yeah? Okay.
Yeah. It's incredibly important if you have LP, just to sacrifice it as opposed to changing it into EMP, and it wouldn't necessarily get you any farther ahead. So if you
For
have
sure.
LP, you can continue farming it until the moment that sacrifice starts, and then you're able to earn additional e-share. But just to kind of explain to you how it works, when you are, and it does go over this in the white paper if you need to read it as well, but when you are sacrificing your LP, um, obviously it is half Ethereum, half EMP, but whatever the dollar amount of that Ethereum is, um, we will give you the EMP equivalent and then apply the peg bonus to it. And so you are getting the full peg bonus for every amount of that LP as if it was liquid EMP. So you're literally getting the exact same as if it was liquid EMP versus LP. It makes no difference to you when sacrificing, but it's better for the protocol and us being able to manage helping us get back to peg if all of you sacrifice your LP, and we can kind of control that so that we can make sure it's done properly.
Yeah, 100%. And again, we that's even more of a reason that again, that early sacrifice bonus comes into play, especially if you're brand new to EMP and maybe you just want to buy either buy EMP off the market or buy EMP and create LP now, if you're listening to this. Again, that would be another way to ensure that you're getting that entire peg bonus as we recover as well. So yeah, the LP is really important in this recovery plan, and it behooves you as the investor into Fusion or sacrificer into Fusion uh, to do that as well. And on top of all that, again, like LA said, you can earn with your LP up until the last, second as well. So over the next 2 weeks, depending on the size of your bag, that could be, a couple of $100 even. Uh, again, just depending on how big your bag is, just continuing to earn e-share. So, all right, I think we covered that well. And yeah, you can sacrifice liquid EMP, um, bonds. Again, bonds will be a one-to-one because bonds are essentially liquid EMP. Um, and then the other big question has been UpEMP. So yes, as of yesterday, we have upgraded the contract as per the white paper. So if you're looking to redeem your EMP now, you will get hit with a 20% redemption tax. Um, Again, we did that on purpose because we don't really want people redeeming their up EMP and dumping it as we go up. And if they do choose to do that, which again, everybody is welcome to do whatever they want in crypto, they're essentially paying us a lot more because those 20% fees go to all the remaining holders. So that is now live as per the white paper. And so what you want to do is, if you're going into Fusion, do not do anything other than send your up EMP to the contract. So again, not manually, but sacrifice your up EMP directly. That is what you
Yes,
will,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
confusing.
yeah. Go
There
ahead,
will
Ellie.
be a
Yeah.
button. There will be a button on the site to do it. You're not sending anything through your MetaMask.
Yes, great point. So again, there was a lot of confusion around that. So just to recap, uh, do not redeem your up EMP for EMP unless again that's your choice, and you can do with what you wish, but just understand you get hit with a 20% redemption fee. Or the people that are bullish on Fusion, you're just going to be again depositing or sacrificing your UpEMP right into Fusion. Because remember, UpEMP is a token on its own. So just like any other token, the mint and redeem is what matters in turning that token into EMP. But if you're going to Fusion, all you have to do is sacrifice directly. So, all right, does that clear it up, LA?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
We will make sure everything is well labeled, and then you just have to do your job and make sure you're paying attention the day that you go to sacrifice.
All right, perfect. And yeah, well, again, I mentioned this on Friday, but the Fusion website is live. I mean, obviously it's on our test server, and what I shared last week were they were screenshots, but they were of the actual website working. So I'm hoping that we get the green light from the beta testers and the developers that we can show this shortly before sacrifice and then you can see it working in real time. So that will hopefully be part of the plan as well, and make it very clear on what to do or not to do. So, all right, and then maybe I guess I'll like touch on, I know that we said it for what a year now almost, but this could be the final opportunity to load up. Again, not financial advice, but yeah, you want to talk about that a little bit, LA, because I know we're
Yes.
gonna get people 2 weeks from now that say, "Man, I wish I would have known to go heavier," or whatever the case may be. So yeah,
Yeah, and please help us spread the word in the group also, because there's a lot of people who are randomly popping back now that we've announced the fusion date who are just clueless and have no idea what is about to happen. They don't know what fusion is. They don't know, how sacrifice is going to work. So if you guys can help us answer questions and educate in the chats, that would be very helpful. But you guys know I'm fascinated with mindset and psychology and all of that. And if you look at any patterns in human psychology, it's very evident that everyone wants to do what everyone else is doing, and it takes people watching other people get things started before they're willing to take action a lot of the time. And that is why when you start to see a bit of a green candle, then a lot of other people will buy. And when it comes to us getting closer and closer to peg, and when it comes to, green candles on the chart with EMP, things can and will move very quickly. But it's because when that momentum does take over, everyone's going to want to hop in because they're wanting to do what everyone else is doing. And I understand if you're like that, because the majority of the population is like that. But this is kind of us warning you that this is kind of, these next 5-10 days are the last opportunity, or maybe not even that long, we don't know, to get these prices before that slingshot, releases. It's pulling back right now, and it's going to release, and all hell is going to break loose in the best possible way, especially once we start marketing. So
For sure.
while you can take advantage of the peg bonuses, ask yourself if that's the right move for you.
Perfect. All right. Amazing, LA. And again, just as one more disclaimer, please never ever invest more than you can afford. I think that that will make you a much better crypto participant moving forward. I think a lot of us, even no matter how bullish we are on a project, if you're over invested, it can make your life miserable because all you do is stare at the chart and you can't pay your rent. I mean, that do never ever get in that situation. So, however, again, if you're in other crypto projects that aren't producing or have a team that maybe is not as transparent and you know badass as we are, maybe liquidate some of your other positions and get into fusion. I mean, again, not financial advice. So. All right. Again, I just want to one more time just reiterate the peg bonus. Um, I know that we kind of have spent a lot of time on that, but one last thing on the peg bonus that we didn't really illustrate is yes, we are giving a potential 9x from where we are today, but remember, as we start to recover peg, you get much, much less of a bonus. So again, that is another reason why we can offer the bonus that we're offering is because it's a sliding scale, and those that are buying in, when we are at zero point 0.5 peg rather than 0.12 peg, are only getting maybe a 2x or a 5x. So just again, keep that in mind. It's all based on the math of us again recovering peg. So. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Ella.
I wanted to just expand on
Yeah,
that because I
please.
saw someone write in the group the other day, like, you know, so is it pretty much a guaranteed 7x bonus? And the answer to that is no. No, of course not. And we're not guaranteeing a 7x, a 9x. The way that it works is the closer we get to peg, the less of a bonus there is. And that's why it's important to buy when we're the farthest away from peg as possible, because you get more of a bonus. And so some people are going to buy into Fusion who are newer participants, and they won't get much of a peg bonus at all. There's other benefits to those people, and we've designed this in a way that it benefits everyone. But when it comes to the peg bonus specifically, the closer that we get to peg, the less of a bonus there is. And so, like AJ just said, some people are only going to get 2x or 1x, or no x's. And so right now is a great opportunity, before all of that madness happens.
Yep, 100%. And again, it is a balance of us also allowing new participants to earn as well. Again, obviously we're giving all of you that have been with us for 2 years, the ability to get in and get in heavy and get all the upside possible. But I also don't want that to be a discouraging factor for new participants because as long as you have a position in the microgrid, you are earning. And, again, the APR will be calculated based on current market value. So that's another thing to realize that, the APR might be extremely higher for you, even though it doesn't show on there, on the dashboard because you bought EMP at a much lower price. And, that is again something you have to keep in mind when we do start seeing the APRs produce. Remember your cost basis. And if you were a participant in EMP, a year ago, you left and maybe you still had some EMP, but you bought your EMP when it was really, at peg or higher, now would be an amazing time to reduce your cost basis. So again, if you bought EMP at $2 and now you're buying it at, 10 cents, then your overall bag average could be under $1, which again is pure profit when we get to peg. So again, those are just some things that all of you need to keep in mind. Obviously, we're not here to encourage you one way or another, and we're not here to provide financial advice, but this would be a really good discussion in the community on, again, how powerful it is. And one last thing I want to mention too about how powerful this is going to be. I know Vino Mystic, Vino, shout out to you, brother. He's our numbers guy, and he's been working on a breakdown of how much EMP really is around and what we know we can account for as a protocol, as a team, some of our rails that we work with that we know are going into sacrifice for fusion. We could see a absolute shit ton of EMP being taken off the market in a very short amount of time, and that is also really, really powerful for how successful fusion will eventually be. So, all right, those are all my points. LA, anything you want to add to that? And then we'll talk a little bit more. Um, oh, well, one more thing, yes, LA, you want to talk about the final white paper?
Yes. So just a reiteration of what we've said on previous weeks. The final white paper will come out 2 to 3 days before launch. And it will stay exactly the same as it is today. However, we will also include some additional information on there about batteries, their prices, their utility, and just kind of some information about that so that you have all that information prior to launch. The reason we're waiting is because we need to do some final testing of batteries right before launch with our beta testers and our team to ensure that no changes need to be made prior to sacrifice.
Yeah, no doubt. And remember, the batteries, obviously, we are going to have the MVP, which stands for minimal viable product. But one of the reasons that we were quote unquote delayed, even though we never announced the launch date prior to this, um, was because of the batteries. And we never ever wanted to launch a protocol where you are handcuffed, overall, that sacrifice and then you can't immediately get your money out somehow. I mean, that is just not what we're going to do. And so, again, even though it added a bit more time, and as you can see, we're still making sure it's perfect right up until the end, the batteries are what allow you to cash out. So even if get into Fusion, not only are you able to sell your microgrid, but you're able to start profiting immediately, so you never have dead money sitting there like 99% of other protocols, especially in DeFi, that have a sacrifice phase. So, all right, yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
And a couple of reminders. One, that batteries are extremely reasonably priced to fit anyone's budget, whether you come in with a small budget, whether you come in with a massive budget, there will be something to accommodate everyone. Second reminder is that once the MVP is released, we will be continuing to develop and release new features as they're ready. So there will not be a V2, a V3, V4. We will just continue to release features as they're ready. And so you'll continue to see new features pop up one by one as the development and testing of those features is complete.
Perfect. All right, awesome. All right, I think that is it for the bullet points. Oh, one more last bullet point. Again, unfortunately, we are still seeing people not following our advice. But LA, you want to do a really quick overview of
Yeah.
security? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I don't know how we could possibly say this more. But I just feel like it's something that you hear and you say that you'll get around to, but you keep saying it to yourself, like, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this next week. That can be the only explanation in my mind, and I'm guilty of doing that with certain things in my life. But security, we say this every AMA or every week at least, but in between every AMA, I hear about someone else being victim to a scammer. So please, please, please take the time now before sacrifice begins to get yourself a hardware wallet. If you need links to those, there's some links for Ledger and Keystone in the description of this video. There's some other great options out there as well. You can chat with some of the community members if you aren't happy with those two options. Also, please take the time to adjust your Telegram settings so that you can't be added into additional groups without your permission, so that you can't receive phone calls without your permission if they're not in your contacts. We will never, ever DM you random links to click on. We will never randomly send you an alternate site to connect to. We won't randomly DM you at all. Every bit of important information will always be pinned in our groups. If something is not pinned and it has a website on it for you to click on, do not trust it. Make sure you get all of your information from pinned posts or announcements in Discord. We will also be sending out emails. I was planning on sending out a big email over the weekend, but unfortunately, I did not have the password with me on my trip to our email software. So now that I'm back, I'm going to send out a big email to help everyone get prepared for Fusion. So AJ and I will work on that tomorrow. And we do share important information through email as well. But if it is not pinned in our groups, or sent through our official support@EMP.Money email, do not trust it.
Yes, 100% LA. And again, even to that point, I know there's a ton of scammers that impersonate all of us. Even if it does seem like maybe it's coming from a legitimate source, if it sounds fishy, it probably is. Again, we will never ever ask you for money. None of our admins will ever ask you to connect to a different website other than what you're used to. And in the worst case scenario, if it does sound fishy, and you think, oh man, that sounds weird, or you get that little butterfly in your stomach that something might be up, just do nothing. The best thing you can do is do nothing and wait for either an AMA or a group setting in any of our socials where again that you're talking to the right people to confirm what is happening. And even at that, again, uh, these scammers are getting so out of control that they'll even join and have a group of people that are, encouraging and backing up what the scammer is saying publicly. So just again, be very careful
Yes,
with all that. Yeah, LA again. I know they're getting trickier and trickier out there. So
yes.
yeah,
Sometimes what they do, and that's why it's always important to look at our chat bubbles to make sure that it's labeled in the top right corner, team member or admin in gray. But sometimes what they do is they join our group under like a pseudonym. And then right before they're about to do this, like seconds before they're about to do this, they change their profile to look exactly like one of us, like whether it's myself, AJ, Stinky, Vino, whoever, whichever admin they're wanting to copy at that time. And they'll change their profile just for a few seconds so that they can write in the group for you to DM them, and then they delete their message hoping that we won't see that they did that, and they change their profile back to whatever it was before after their potential victim has DM'd them. And so that is something very sneaky that they do. I will say 99% of the time we catch on to that within less than a minute and we boot them. But they're always trying. So it's really important that you're always very hyper aware and vigilant.
Yep, 100%. And again, the fundamentals are having multiple wallets, having a long password. Again, even in crypto, don't just have it be password 123. You need to have a very long and complicated password. Because again, if they get your Rabby or MetaMask password, then they have potential access to all of your wallets. And then number three is obviously a hardware wallet. That, if you are hacked, and they do have your password, that you have to actually approve the transaction. So that is again the ultimate protection. All right. I think that covers that. One final thing before we get into questions. Unless was there anything else, LA? Sorry.
Nope.
All right, so this is some alpha for those that have been tuned in for the last hour and 18 minutes. And again, shout out to all of you that are still here. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Uh, that really helps the algorithm. We actually just got a payment from YouTube, which was better than any other payment we ever had. So again, this all helps feed Fusion. Remember your engagement and showing up to the live streams is also a direct revenue stream back into Fusion. Um, but again, some alpha. We've been mentioning this a few times now, and we're gonna release officially our next project. Again, we've talked about it a few times. It's a vertical that we don't really have exposure to, and it will be a direct revenue stream into Fusion. And when I say we're going to announce our next project, please understand that we are not, removing focus from anything that we're doing. But this is really powerful. And once you guys and gals see what this is, I think that the FOMO will be even more powerful, knowing that Fusion will have direct exposure to this. So I think the tentative day is announcing this on the AMA right before sacrifice. So mark your calendars. We'll have more info as we go. And shout out to Jerusik. He's always the one to guess. So if one of you can guess what this new vertical will be, you'll get a special high five, virtual high five. So
A hug.
a hug, a virtual hug. Perfect. So yeah, stay tuned for that for sure. So, all right, then now, without further ado, on to questions, right, LA? I don't know.
Vito says Vito says he doesn't use password 123. He uses password 1234.
Oh, all right, good deal, you know. Yeah, man.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
You know what? I saw this like thing that like shows it's like a chart that like shows the length of password versus like the length of time it takes to hack it. And um like it's crazy how much of a difference in length of time it makes if you have it a certain length of password. I think it was like 12 or 16 characters or something. I haven't looked at it in a while, but
For sure.
it's so annoying to type it in, but it's worth it if it protects you.
Yeah, exactly. If your password is so long that you have a hard time remembering it, then you're doing it right. So, yeah, and to get pissed every time you gotta put it in. Oh, I love it. All right, awesome. All right, so yeah, yeah,
Questions?
go
Yes,
ahead,
we
Ellie.
have some. All right. So, will there be anything within Fusion similar to the boardroom?
So that answer is no. Again, we're moving away completely from all the tomb fork and inflationary elements of the past. We've learned what that what the downside of what that is. Obviously, everybody loves when the boardroom's printing. EMP and DexFinance are the kings of the infinite boardroom printer. They printed for 50 days straight. But now again, that's why we had the sell-off that we had because admittedly, there was probably too much inflation in the system. So, no, we're moving away from the boardroom. We're moving away from all that. Fusion is its own entity and own animal and own code built from the ground up. And everybody that has EMP and eShare and all the legacy contracts will be honored in this new ecosystem. But yeah, it's exciting.
Awesome. I'm excited for you to answer this next one.
All
And
right, let's see
my
the juicy
my
part.
only answer is two words: ironclad belief.
All right, perfect.
But how serious are you about repegging EMP? Is it 50% more like wishing or 100% serious? I've
Yeah,
heard about repegging over and over in the past years. I'm not accusing you of anything. I simply want to know if it's a priority for you or not, or only something you're striving to do.
yeah, no, it's 100%. Again, I don't want to use the word, even though I want to use the word guarantee. I mean, we don't guarantee anything that we, obviously can't predict the future on, but we are, like LA said, doing everything we can to induce ironclad belief. And yeah, I mean, the math is also what supports that. So, you know, we haven't uh, dumped our treasury as exit liquidity for everybody over the last year and a half. Like, again, 99% of all tomb forks or DeFi protocols have done. We've chosen to manage that treasury and make it healthier and better than ever. And so we have the ammo to and the game plan to recover peg. Now, again, the disclaimer is it will not be overnight and it will not be a straight shot, but over time, we have every way possible of regaining peg, and that alone will be a major confidence boost on the entire EMP ecosystem. And honestly, it will be newsworthy. I mean, we will be able to again be the only protocol that started as a tomb fork, moved away from the inflationary model, recovered peg, and now we're paying even better, hopefully APR than we did originally. So yeah, again,
Yeah.
LA, you want to add to that? Go ahead.
I want to say something on that. Um, we're so certain that I was literally at consensus speaking to random strangers about this. I was literally telling them about the fact that we are one of the only DeFi protocols that is about to repeg, and that it's going to be this big thing, and that we're going to need to line up lots of PR around it because it's this amazing story that's going to need to be told, and we're going to need more marketing and more PR. And I told multiple people about this at consensus that we have this amazing story brewing about this DeFi protocol that outlasted all the other DeFi protocols on the chain, and repegged after 2 years. And it's this huge success story, and it's not been done. So if I feel confident enough to speak, to other crypto enthusiasts who don't know us uh, at a conference, you could tell we're pretty damn confident about it.
For sure,
Um,
100%.
I do intend on writing that article and getting some PR behind it. I even talked to one lady over the weekend that said she could get AJ on CNN. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I don't know if we're ready for all that, LA, but it's good to know that we have that in our back pocket. So yeah,
I know
yeah,
that was awesome though,
yeah,
but but yeah, I do intend on writing that article, and we are gonna blast that all over the internet.
yeah, 100%. Well, and while we're on the topic, again, shout out to Mail. Again, we'll take questions in the live chat, but this is relevant right now. Will front runners be a problem regarding this? So again, that's a great question, and the answer is not really. I mean, we are mitigating, and that's why I wanted to talk about exit liquidity on EMP today and make that one of the major topics because those that are trying to front run and swing trade are going to have a bad day. And I want to be able to go to this AMA and say, we explicitly talked about this way ahead of Fusion, and there are no hard feelings because this is the plan. And so, if front runners are just trying to buy and sell, obviously that's their prerogative, and they can do that, and they may end up profiting in the short term. But over time, the idea is that that is a one-time problem where they can sell, but then all of us, including the Treasury, is able to buy that EMP that they're selling, and then they'll never be able to buy it for that cheap again. So if you are a swing trader or front runner, then I would say to you, buy and just sacrifice. I know that that is, maybe not a short-term profit, but that will be a way that you can, again, get way more out of the ecosystem than front running. So that is, again, part of today's discussion and a great question. And again, one of the reasons why we say it won't be up and to the right, in a straight line. It will be a gradual ebb and flow of buys and sells, and it's up to us as a community, again, to continue to accumulate, or again, bring new people in. And that is, again, not has nothing to do with Ponzonomics. It just has to do with good business. So that is all part of the plan.
Exactly. All right. Second part from this user. Uh, what kind of plan do you have? Could you elaborate? Are you also burning EMP?
Yeah, so again, we've talked about it a lot, and I'm not going to go into every single detail because we do have some secret sauce up our sleeves as usual. But the overall idea is that through sacrifice, we reduce the amount of EMP that is available on the market. We reduce the liquidity of EMP, which allows us to recover PEG much easier with much less capital. And then we build back the liquidity at PEG, which is a sword and shield type approach, where we then build a very strong foundation of protocol-owned liquidity at PEG value. And this has been proven time and time again to work as long as you have a competent uh, 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 developer or manager behind it. So all of this is something that we're doing. And again, as a community, the best thing to do is sacrifice as much as you want to, as early as you want to, as well, because that will help this process along. So, yeah, anything I left out, LA, again, we don't want to share the exact game plan, but I think that helps.
No, I think that helps for sure. Okay, here's a final question from this user. And we're going to go into it as detailed as we can, but we have shared before that this is really not something we can predict ahead of time. Um, I've heard the team say on many AMAs before that the central grid would be paying a minimum of what is paying out in the farms currently. Lowest I've seen the farms at our lowest peg and e-share price was like 15 to 20% APR on the lowest end. Would like a conservative MVP guest from the team. Under promise and over deliver is the track record.
Yeah, 100%. So, like Ellie said, I'm not gonna say a number, obviously, you know, not including any of the revenue streams. I mean, even with eShare getting a bit of a pump, um, we've seen APRs in the farms even today become more attractive. But remember, EMP, and again, this is another really good segue. We probably should have talked about it earlier in the show as well. But um, I want everybody to start thinking of EMP as their reliable home base. And, LA says this a lot in terms of like your crypto savings account. But again, that makes it sound like it's not going to produce, as though it will be a hybrid of both. And, again, the APR will be meant to be attractive, but it will also be healthy in the fact that it's produced from real revenue. So there may be some months the APR is much higher. There may be some months the APR is much lower, but it will always be producing. And you can then stack your ownership in Fusion to then play these other degen moves or meme tokens or anything else in crypto. And that is how I have built a multi-million-dollar portfolio is by investing heavily into the safer plays that still produce yield, but are much less risky than aping in the next 1,000x. And then using the funds to not only compound my position into the home base, but also then to use that money to speculate and invest in other projects that I want. So Fusion has been built again as a automated way of what my winning investment strategy has been over the last 10 years in crypto. And it's funny how it worked out that way because there were a lot more minds behind Fusion than me. But again, if I had to do it all over again, the way Fusion is set up is exactly how I would want a protocol to be set up for me to have the gains and success over the long term that I have had. So, again, I know that really didn't answer your question, but the idea is that we are going to have the perfect blend of attractive but healthy APR for the long run.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yes. And I'll answer it from like a slightly different approach as well,
for sure.
and kind of go into what was said about the farms and whatnot. Um, if you look at the farms on EMP, um, what we have said in the past is the very minimum would be what the two farms are paying today combined, is what we would be able to pay at the very minimum, because that is the set emissions for the protocol on a daily basis, and those e-share emissions don't change until the next halving. That being said, what I wanted to point out is even in the last few weeks, when eShare price has gone up ever so slightly, it's at $60 today. The farm APRs have had a very decent sized little elevation. And one of the reasons why it's so important for us to get back to PEG is because eShare and the price of eShare has always been something that has been uh, directly impacted by how people feel about the protocol, and it's been a good indication of people's sentiment. And the eShare price is expected to raise quite a bit when we get closer and closer, and then eventually back to peg. Can we say that for certain? No. But is it the most realistic outcome? Yes. And if we have seen the farm APR go up a really decent chunk with such a small increase in e-share price, it will be really exciting to see how much it would go up with quite a sizable increase in e-share price. And I think that it's been so long since we've seen e-share in the hundreds that we forget what those farm APRs could potentially be like. So that's the first thing I want to say. And then the second thing I want to say is you'll notice that we're continuing to add new revenue streams to Fusion. AJ just teased something tonight that is another new project that we're releasing that is going to be a really solid extra additional revenue stream for Fusion. And when the bull market fully takes effect, and all of these different chains are booming, and we're continuing to add additional revenue sources, the additional revenue coming in from all of these different projects could be really, really impactful on the Fusion APRs and the rewards within Fusion. And part of the reason why it's so beneficial that we have these like all of these additional revenue streams is because it's built as a safeguard. When one chain might not be doing as well, another chain will. There is a potential, though, when the market is in full boom, that they could all be doing extremely well at the same time. If not, though, it is built as a safeguard so that we're always doing good revenue, at least somewhere. and they are all bringing in revenue every week. Um,
For
you
sure.
know, all the eggs aren't in one basket, so
Yeah,
to speak.
yeah, I love this LA. Sorry, go ahead. Was that it? I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
continue if you have something
All
you
right,
want to
yeah,
add for.
yeah. Don't forget what you were gonna add, but yeah, I think this is a really important, tributary we need to go down for a second. So to LA's point, I mean, we have purposely developed a infrastructure, and again, we call it the mothership, but our mothership is exposed in so many areas and diversified into real revenue, where again there will be another bear market coming. Now, I know all of us, are excited. We're that euphoria hasn't even begun to really set in yet. Just wait. I mean, those that have never experienced the full bull run, starting in October and going into next year, uh, it'll be gains beyond your wildest imagination, and that is 100% true. And barring any black swan event, I think we're prepared for that. Now, that being said, there will be a bear market following that, and that bear market could be even worse than the bear market we've experienced over the last, 2 years. And if that's the case, we are still poised to produce as a protocol. And I think that is so bullish because we are thinking long term, we are thinking, conservatively, and everything that we build, even if we have to go to 100% stable tokens and just, do liquidity mining, to produce APR, that's what we'll do. I mean, we have the ability to pivot and the knowledge to know where to go when times are tough. And again, I mean, that is just something that makes me even more excited for Fusion because we could see a whole new wave of volume coming in to Fusion when we do get to that next bear market. And we're, again, the only protocol, or one of the only protocols, that have, again, now survived two bear markets and arguably are even producing more than what we were, getting ready for the bull. So that is really powerful, and I believe that that will happen 100% because of how we're managing our exposure, and building a very healthy infrastructure of real yield. So yeah, 100% LA.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so that was the last question on Discord, but we have a few on YouTube. So, why did the EMP and DexFi teams merge?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, again, it just kind of, it was in the words of Bob Ross, it was a happy accident. We obviously had a great, excuse me, we had a great relationship with Drake and everybody from DexFinance. We were in the process of growing. Our original dev, Jake, we had grown so much that it was really difficult for him to manage everything on his own. Um, and so, we hired some contract developers. We made headway with them. We built some great things with them, but we still needed to continue to scale. And, you know, we again got Dex Finance involved, and it was just such a great complement to both ecosystems where, Dex Finance is amazing at building, and they have a very diverse dev team to make it happen. But admittedly, they may not be as good from the marketing standpoint or the business development standpoint. So the fact that we were able to merge and LA and I can fit those roles from a marketing and development and community management and outreach standpoint, and the Dex Finance team can continue to build amazing products. It was a home run, or what other cliche? A match made in heaven, so to speak. So, right, Ella, I don't know if you want to add to that or about the timeline or anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it has helped us expand and grow so much and have the ability to do so much more at once. Um, we have been accused a few times of, having too much attention on Sparkswap or this and that. But what people don't realize is that we have 30 developers working for us, and they work in different pods. So there's a Fusion pod, there's a Sparkswap pod, there's a CedoSwap pod, and they all stick to their own pods. And we have a couple of people managing those pods, so Jake and Alex, and then we converse with all the team leads on a weekly basis, usually about 2 or 3 times a week. And so the fact that we have the ability to have all these incredible developers at our disposal allows us to do so much more at once while still ensuring that, we're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, but all of the work is being done at such a high level because everyone is, sticking to their own lane when it comes to building these projects. The other thing is that we've been in this business long enough now to realize that when you find someone you really, really trust, it's really worth hanging on to them. And Jake is someone that we really, really trust. Not only that, but we think really alike. He has a very similar work ethic. And we all really hustle, work hard. We're all very honest and transparent. And DexFi and EMP were really two of only a very small handful of DeFi protocols that made it through the bear market. And so, Jake is a really smart guy, and it made a lot of sense to merge together with them.
Yeah, very well said, LA, and that's 100% the truth, and even more so of being stronger together. I think that is another really bullish part of that, merger is that, you know, not only do we share responsibilities and costs and everything that goes into running successful projects, but now we essentially have double the community and involvement as well. So it absolutely made us stronger together than we were, individually. And, there's a lot of amazing things happening with Dex Finance and, obviously Dex Finance as a whole, and EMP are still, a bit of our own flagship protocols. But everything that we've built together, also feeds those individual protocols as well. So, and the vault technology that Dex Finance has put out really is revolutionary, and we'll have a lot more on that as we go into V3. Again, I talked about it on the last AMA. ALMs or automated liquidity management systems with V3 models. That is the way of the future, and Dex Finance is bringing again a whole new element to that with their vaults that support V3. So that will be another round of innovation that we bring to all of our products. And, we've also teased as well that we may end up actually moving not only to V3, like I said earlier, but actually moving everything under one umbrella, even more so than it is now, as well. And that will continue to streamline our efforts. So we don't have to manage and promote projects individually. We can just manage and promote one single entity. And again, that is perfectly aligned with what we have coming, over the next few years for sure. So, yeah, all right. I think, yeah, LA, anything
Awesome.
else? Yeah.
There's some more questions here,
Okay,
so let's.
perfect.
Yeah, is better to focus on price or grid percentage?
Yeah, so again, this is a very good question. I think some of our questions are a bit leading, but I love it. That gives us stuff to talk about. So, the answer to that, in my eyes, is 100% grid ownership. So, again, we've preached this in everything that we do from day one. Obviously, price is important, but when you start thinking in terms of percentage ownership and token accumulation, that is when you will see again your portfolio skyrocket. So, yeah, I mean those that are able, and even if you are a minnow, as long as you're compounding, and again, I want everybody to take profit responsibly, so don't misconstrue my words of compounding forever. But understand that you are able to get a lot of ownership in Fusion just by compounding. And yeah, I mean, there is only so much EMP in in the world or in the universe now. So the fact that you're able to buy and hold, that means that's less EMP somebody else can buy and hold. And so, in terms of revenue split, that is really, really important, the more ownership you have. So, yeah, really good question. And I would say again, if you're here for the long run, you absolutely want to be focused on percentage, not price.
Awesome. There was another question here about whether Sentinels would automatically would auto claim for you into Fusion. And so I just wanted to kind of clarify about that.
Yeah.
So all of your NFTs, your Sentinels and your Defenders, and so your Sentinels and your Defenders will they won't auto claim for you. You will still have to hit the claim button, but the rewards from those claims will automatically sacrifice into Fusion for you to build up your ownership percentage.
Yep, 100%. And again, we have to have it that way, because of gas fees. I mean, obviously, we've also talked about auto compounding batteries. And so there could be a potential that we may be able to apply that sort of a contract to the NFTs as well. But remember, NFTs are very different in terms of the way it operates because your payout is based on how many NFTs you have, not and those are liquid. So it's another level of complexity than just a typical smart contract. So, but yeah, we'll definitely look into that. Remember, Fusion, like Ellie said a little earlier, we'll always be adding and improving to Fusion as well. It won't just be a set it and forget it kind of a thing.
All right, awesome. I swear I saw some more questions earlier, but my YouTube is only showing me up to a certain point and not all the very way to the top for some reason. Can
Yeah,
you see all the way to the top?
yeah, I'm looking over while you say that. Hang on.
There was something about whether you and Jake met in a bar or a boardroom or something.
Yeah, yeah. Jake and I, we have just like anybody in crypto, we've developed our relationship virtually, and so yeah, I mean we've one day we'll meet in a bar, I hope. So yeah. All right, hang on. Yeah, I think. Okay, I'm caught up here. Hang on, LA. Still going through it. Yeah, I thought there was more too, but I'm not seeing many. If any of you have questions we didn't get to right here at the end, please feel free to chime in. But
Yeah,
yeah,
there was one or two more I thought I saw from Mega Buddy earlier, but it's not letting me scroll up any higher for some reason. Um, and they were earlier in the stream.
okay. All right, yeah.
Okay.
Apologies, but yeah, I think we're good. Again, if anybody does have anything to add, let me know. But yeah. All right. Any other final words, LA, or anything else we want to talk about? Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. And another congratulations to our winners. If you are a winner, I will be reaching out to you tomorrow. I apologize. I'm just extremely tired from the travel today. So I'm going to rest for the rest of the night. But we are full speed ahead tomorrow. And so congrats to all of you. And yes, we are all winners. But only 5 of you are actually getting prize money.
Yeah.
But we are all the prize. So yeah, you guys so excited for Fusion. We're less than 2 weeks away, which is absolutely bananas. And I'm excited for this moment we've all been waiting for. And yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. Again, I think it is a combination. I know blood, sweat, and tears. I know Ella and I both try not to get emotional over it because it is. I mean, we've been working our asses off for 2 years straight. Uh, well, at least a year and a half after we started to decline in the original protocol, but we never gave up, and we made that promise, and we deliver on that promise. And the amazing part is that through all these trials and tribulations, we have been made veterans in the space, and I'm so confident in our ability, not only as a team, but also as a protocol and as a community, to absolutely crush this next phase. And we've done everything we can to set that up. I think the community is ready for it, and the overall market will be literally pouring jet fuel on the fire, and we're going to be set up. So again,
You know what I just
yeah,
realized too,
go.
AJ?
What else? I like, yeah, go ahead.
When we launch on the 14th, it's literally going to be our 2.5 year mark.
That's amazing. Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, because the 14th is the day, right? Or yeah, I think,
It,
or
it
yeah.
was, or maybe the 16th, but either way, like it's right there. It's
That's
so cool.
amazing. Yeah, no doubt. Again, we didn't delay on purpose, but I think it was some divine intervention and whatever you believe in or any kind of higher power that everything happens for a reason. And I think our launch could not have been better in terms of timing. So yeah, now it's up to us to deliver and everybody as a community to rally and we will. We're going to do all of that. And so remember, help us spread the word as well. Make sure that you're educating people on Twitter or X. And also, we have, like I said, about 50 AMAs over the next few months. But if there is a particular influencer that maybe covered EMP in the past that you would want to actually get an update with, make sure you let us know as well. That will also help us target um, the people that at least knew or know about EMP at one point. So, all right. On that note, then I think we're gonna wrap it up. LA, any final words for the wonderful people?
Oh, have an amazing night/day, guys. We love you, and we will see you on Thursday.
All right, there you have it, everyone. Again, a long AMA today, but a lot of info. Please make sure you listen to it again. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and spread the word about what is coming in just 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks now, man. I'm excited. I know that. So, all right, everybody. Like I said, much love to all of you, and we'll see you on Thursday. Remember, we come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Good night, good day. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday.